Second up today is a documentary, and it's a documentary that many of you will probably have watched by now. But it's worth mentioning for any stragglers and anyone who is reluctant to have the curtains opened or the wool pulled back from in front of their eyes. The Social Dilemma is a documentary on Netflix, and it is a documentary about the effect that social media is having on our lives. Now, I've talked personally or written personally a little bit about what I would call, if I'm being honest, a social media addiction. I do have a dependence on social media to provide me with little dopamine hits, or sort of suspend my boredom for a bit when I'm bored, or to fill my lunch break at work to try and get a bit of pleasure in before I have to go back to, I don't know, hoeing a weed out or trimming grass or cutting hedges, hard physical work. And the Social Dilemma was really useful to me because the experts involved in building a lot of these tools reveal the mechanisms behind this addictive behaviour. The documentary is basically part doc and it's also part drama. So you've got a fictional story running alongside commentary from some of the people who actually played really pivotal roles in shaping social media to become what it is today. In the story aspect of the documentary, we follow a teenager as he wrangles with his addiction to his phone. Meanwhile, at the same time, the experts give us insight as to the particular tools that are responsible for forcing him into engagement. It's pretty scary, really. And one of the big sort of horrifying revelations from this, I mean, we all kind of know this to some extent, and we are willfully ignorant in kind of hiding it from ourselves. But what social media platforms do is that they develop something of a profile for you from your use. So with every like, with every watch of a video, with every retweet, they basically hone this profile of you to become more and more detailed, so they can know exactly what they need to do, exactly what they need to invite you to do, so that they can get you onto this social media platform and keep you there. On top of this, due to the emphasis placed on retaining your attention, the algorithms of YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc. basically lean more towards showing you things that are going to outrage you. So conspiracy theories or violence, or maybe even on YouTube videos of a slightly sexual nature. I mean, they can only be so sexual on YouTube, but they might be sort of slightly inviting. There's a thing right now where basically it's No Nut November right now. So the idea is that guys will abstain from masturbation. And for some reason, a lot of people do it. I understand why people do it, why people want to do it all at one time in November. It's all a bit weird, isn't it? Like, the internet's pretty weird. But then I've seen that there are videos that basically try and bait people into failing No Nut November, which is just a little bit bizarre, really. I mean, I don't really understand it, but there we go. Sex is a powerful, powerful motivator. So anyway, that is one of a number of intense emotions or feelings that the algorithms play on to get you to stay. It's sad because a lot of these are negative emotions, say anger and outrage, and I guess being upset or offended at something. But they're simply the most powerful emotions. They're the ones that will keep you on there for the longest time. An especially scary moment came towards the end of the documentary, when each interviewee, who I've already mentioned a number of times, were playing big roles in the development of many of these platforms, and also the development in the addictive mechanisms of these platforms. Each interviewee was asked either, will you let your children use social media, or do you let your children use social media? And the answer overwhelmingly was no. No way. So there we go. I think many of us are addicted, or at least dependent on social media. And watching The Social Dilemma isn't going to cure you, but it will at least help you to understand what's going on a little bit better, and understand that if we do not try our best to be in control of our own lives and be aware of the other forces that may exert their control over us, then we're not going to live the lives, the intentional lives that we want to. We're not going to do the things that we want. We're not going to behave the way that we want to. These things hijack our emotions, our feelings, our behaviors, and will continue to do so for as long as we use them in the addictive ways that we do.